Hello everyone, I'm Eszter Vajda. Thanks for joining us and welcome to Hometown Talents and Treasures. Our goal is to introduce you to citizens who in their own unique way contribute to the betterment of society. They could be part of a charitable or faith-based organization, spend a lifetime giving of themselves, or do small acts of kindness. Regardless, they are all hometown heroes. Our guest is Phil Nowlan. He served in the Vietnam War infantry in the 5th Battalion, 7th Cavalry between February of 1968 and February of 1969. He is also a Freemason and serves as a District Deputy Grand Master in the 2nd Masonic District in Massachusetts. Phil is also the owner of Nowlan Photography. Welcome. Pleasure to have you.
My pleasure to be here.
I want to read you a little bit about from the person who nominated you to be our hometown talent and treasure. He says, Phil answered the call of his country during the Vietnam conflict. He embraced his duty in an exemplary fashion. Unfortunately, he was one of the many affected by the long-lasting borrows of Agent Orange, which continues to afflict him today. What makes Phil special is that you will never hear him complain about his affliction, nor use it as an excuse. He later on says, Phil is a good example of the quality individuals who quietly do the work of angels while never seeking or receiving attention or credit.
Wow, I didn't even know he did that.
A lot to cover,
Yes.
Phil, and I want to start out with the Vietnam War. And one of the things that we spoke about on the phone was that you said that not a day goes by that you don't think about that period of your life. What do you think of?
Well, it's an experience you can never, ever forget. It's not something that somebody could watch on a movie and feel as though they've been there. You have to have been there, smell it, feel it, and be with your comrades. And being away from your family in the United States for a whole year, it's quite an experience that nobody would ever forget. I'm not the only one either. You learn to grow up real fast.
Your friends?
Yeah, yep, yes. Some of them are on the wall. It took me over 40 years to finally go to the wall. It was tough.
What do you think of when you go to the wall?
A lot of things, mainly my brothers who were there. It can get very emotional.
A lot of sacrifice.
Yes, yes. And I'm very proud of every one of them that are on there for signing the blank check and giving their life for their country. No one should ever forget them.
What will you take away from the war? How has it changed your life?
That could be a long answer.
We've got time.
Every day's a gift. And that's very important to try and remember. Sometimes you forget things like that, but every day, no matter how old you are, tomorrow is never a guarantee for anybody. But you learn to adapt and overcome on certain problems, but most of the problems are not as bad as what you've been through.
Did you feel like your life was in danger on a daily basis at all times?
Most of the time, yes. Yes, because we were out in the jungle all the time. And we were air mobile, which the 5th to the 7th was the unit that was, they did that movie, We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. That's how air mobile started. It's the first time they ever used air mobile, which is if you were anywhere in the jungle and things are quiet and someone else needs help, they call you up and they're coming in with a whole handful of choppers, pick you up and drop you in on the middle of it. With the use of the choppers, the medevacs, I mean, there are so many men who lives were saved because of the choppers being able to come in, take them out, and bring them back for quick attention instead of having to carry them all the way back. So that was a huge advancement.
Tell me about being exposed to Agent Orange. Did you know that there was something?
Didn't know it was a problem when we were there.
Did
It
you
was a
feel
defoliant.
like it was something that was just not right? Obviously, you didn't know at the time, but did you just have this feeling that this is just not right?
Not really. Not really. You didn't have time to worry about it. You just did your job. But it was a defoliant agent that would thin out the areas. Over there, the jungle would come back in a matter of 2 weeks. I mean, things grow so fast. And you need the camouflage. A lot of times you want to try and have the camouflage not as heavy. But we never gave that. We had other things to worry about.
And you came back, and when did you start feeling the effects of Agent Orange? What are the effects, and how are you doing now?
I'm doing great.
You're looking great.
Thank you. My effect on Agent Orange is a systemic heart attack, which luckily was sort of minor. And of course, there's no such thing. That's kind of an oxymoron, right? A minor heart attack. Another bad thing about Vietnam is we would come home and hide the fact that we were over there.
Yeah.
You know, the way the Vietnam vets were treated was not good at all, and it wasn't their fault.
There was no
They were
parade.
doing what their country told them to do.
There's no welcoming, no parade.
Nothing. So, which is fine. We're okay with that, but you'll see more Vietnam vets trying to help out the Iraqi vets and the Afghanistan vets to make sure that doesn't happen to them.
You came back and you opened up Nowlan Photography.
Yes, we did. Photography, it was photography and videography.
Were you always interested in photography?
Oh, yes, yes. But I quickly learned that it costs money to do photography. So I started doing professional photography as soon as I got back from Vietnam. And then I went full-time in 1980.
Did you have a camera in Vietnam? Were you able to take any
Just
pictures?
a little tiny one, yeah. Nothing professional. Don't forget, that was film back then, with the 115 degrees in the shade and 100% humidity. Film doesn't stay too good.
And then later on, you became a Freemason. And I got to tell you, Phil, spoken to some people, and there's, I believe, a lot of misinformation or maybe wonderment about this organization. The largest and oldest fraternity started in England. Tell me what it means to be a Freemason.
To be a Freemason is, as you say, is the oldest fraternity in the world, continuous running fraternity too. It's all for helping other people, helping yourself, helping fellow Freemasons, and also mainly helping children. You have to be a Mason before you can be a Shriner. Scottish Rite Learning Center for Children has a school for dyslexia.
Which you're also very involved in.
Yes, I'm on the Board of Governors for one of the schools, and it's quite interesting. The children take a course to learn how to deal with dyslexia, which is a 2-year course. And it's when you go to the graduation, if you can ever go to one of the graduations, just to be a bystander, to see the children get up and talk at the podium about their experience.
What is it you said earlier? No paycheck could make up for the smile?
True, true. And the same thing with the Shriners, helping the children that are burnt and so forth. And then also a lot of people don't know, but there's not only the Shriners Burns Hospital, there's the Shriners Orthopedic Hospital. And I'm proud of them too. As a Mason, we all raise money. If you see a Shriners parade, all those little cars and outfits and everything, each Mason builds that or makes their own costumes at their cost. And whatever they charge the town goes to the hospitals. So,
why is there such a veil of secrecy, you think, around?
There is no secrecy. I'm glad you asked that. Freemasonry is not a secret organization. If it was, you wouldn't see the square and compasses, you wouldn't see people talking about Freemasonry, you wouldn't see them having meetings, marching in parades. It's like any fraternity. It's a fraternity with a few secrets, so that you can recognize that that person is a true Mason.
There's been some famous Masons, Paul Revere.
Yes.
Name a few more.
Yes. Paul Revere, Benjamin Franklin, Henry Price, Joseph Warren, who was in the Battle of Bunker Hill. He died at the battle. He didn't have to be there because he was a general. And he was the Grand Master at the time, too. But he wanted to be with his brothers.
What made you become a Freemason? What was the genesis?
You see other Masons, you see the parades, you learn about the hospitals. It's just community awareness, and that's one thing that I really wanted to get involved in. Before I became a Mason, I was on the board of directors for a cable access station in Wilmington, WCTV. Then I became president, but I waited another year. I found out about Freemasons, and I waited another year till that commitment was done. And then when I was finished with the board of directors, I joined the Freemasons in '95. And
did your service in Vietnam or any part of what you did there influence you to become a Mason? And sort of, you go from being in the military and sort of a fraternity. Did you miss that when you came back?
Oh, yes. Yes. And it was when I joined the Freemasons, it was a direct connection to a fraternity, a brotherhood, and comrades and so forth. And I just adapted to it, hook, line, and sinker.
I want to ask you one final question about you as a veteran and seeing all these boys and girls coming back now. You said that you're out there helping. What do you think is the biggest need when they come back after spending some time in a war-torn area, in battle or not? What is the biggest thing that those veterans coming home need?
I would say the biggest thing is to accept them back and make sure they have professional guidance through the VA system on post-traumatic stress and disorder, PTSD. Anybody who's been in a war, whether it's World War I, the Civil War, or anything, you do have what they call PTSD. And it's very hard to explain. If you talk to a psychiatrist who specializes in it, they could explain it better. But
did you get help?
They really need that professional help, and also need to be able to spend some time with other veterans too, to sort of blend back into civil life.
Did you get help when you came back?
Not at all.
How did you adjust? How did you readjust?
I'm still adjusting. Still adjusting. It's a lifelong thing. It's just like dyslexia. It doesn't go away, but you start to learn how to handle it, deal with it, and do the best you can.
Do you still have nightmares?
Yeah.
What are they about?
Experiences. They're not worth talking about.
Thank you for your service, Phil.
You're welcome.
And thank you for opening up and talking about this very fascinating topic. And thanks for all you do to the community.
My pleasure. It really is. It's my pleasure. It makes me feel much better. And anybody, as you probably know, anybody who does some volunteering to help out another human being, it's a great satisfaction. It really is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
That's our show for tonight. Thank you to all the heroes out there for all that you do. If you want to see other episodes, go to my YouTube channel, the Eszter Vajda channel. And if there's someone or an organization you would like to nominate to be featured on Hometown Talents and Treasures, email me at esternvajda@gmail.com. You can see it on your screen. Remember, it can be anyone. The important thing is that they selflessly donate their talent and time to help others. See you next time.